Hello, welcome to another episode of Bill Mechanicer. Here, coming to you live from a crappy 2.0 webcam I found in a box in my basement. So we doing things. Yeah, baby, we live. I'd like music during this, but I think it'll get taken down for copyright or whatever the hairy garbage. So here's where we are. This is a 4EAT from a Subaru, specifically the code Tango Zulu 03 Zulu Juliet 1 Alpha Alpha dash Lima 1. But who's counting? And we've taken apart, I have, the back tail housing of the transmission here in order to look at the transfer clutch duty solenoid, barf, which is this. And what this does is it modulates your pressure to your transfer gear set or something of that nature. Essentially, it modulates which wheels get more power of the or more favored of the torque split. I don't remember what it is in the autos, nor do I care. But I have a customer car that needs probably this solenoid, which I have tested as good, and I'll go over how I arrived at that in a minute. What'll happen here on some Outbacks, Foresters, Imprezas, any 4EATs, is they'll bind in turning at low speed, and it's really uncool, and it can eventually damage driveline components and annoy you to no end. So here we are. Now, there's really no trick to this. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bolts, and it came off. Obviously, this transmission is out of the car. There it is. It was procured by a guy that just said he had one kicking around, and almost all of the auto transmissions should have the same transfer clutch duty solenoid. And something interesting I found when I was looking for it was, this specific solenoid, while I was looking for it, was that to buy the solenoid by itself can be upwards of like $300 for some reason. However, when you buy it with the valve body underneath it, you can get it for significantly less. I don't know why that is the case, but I seem to remember having problems like that from my days as a manager at O'Reilly's. And I find it to be kind of nonsensical, but it's probably just some piece of it that I have yet to understand. And I'm not losing sleep over it. So, how I arrived at this being a good solenoid that I wanted to use was I tested the continuity, or the resistance, between this terminal and the body. You can do that on the car between like B54 and I17, or whatever the FSM said. I can't quite remember. But you're basically just testing the resistance of the solenoid and looking for between 10 and 17 ohms. So you go dit, dit, and if you get anywhere in that value, it's fine. So having said that, I don't know. I want to find out if there's a reason why one would have to buy this all as in one. And I'd be willing to bet it has something to do with how this is mounted. Like, I'm not sure if this solenoid, if it can be removed without damaging something inside, or if it has to be removed as an assembly. Either way, I'm going to skip all of that shit. Look through the clutches and make sure they're fine, because these bearings seem hunky-dory. I don't see any problem with them at all. It rolls freely. And, yeah. Ooh, needle bearings. That's fun. So, let's crack on with it. I'm going to start by taking a little ring, retaining ring, out of the inside of the little, I'm going to call it a basket, because it kind of looks like a basket on any other automatic transmission. or any clutch pack you may find from like a motorcycle or ATV or whatever. Take that out. I'm going to try to remember the orientation by setting it in there correctly. And I'm going to start pulling out the clutch packs and the friction discs and the plates. Not quite sure what to call them. I'm going to go this way. Yeah. This one doesn't seem to have a noticeable ridge or anything, so this actually might be in really good shape. Looks like it appears that there's plenty of friction material left on these. I'm going to call them friction discs for now, because it does contain the friction material. Yeah, I wonder what the specification is on that. I think I will mic those in accordance with the FSM and see where that takes me. What I'm looking for is any cracks or scoring or anything else that's really uncool. And seeing if there's any of these that are worn or blown out, then that would lead me to put in another set of clutches, or if this might be a absolutely free repair that only costs me some time. We shall see. All of this friction material looks really good, but I'm still going to mic it, which means use a micrometer to test the thickness therein, just to see if it is meeting the minimum specification. Because it sounds like I may have done very well with this, and I'm pretty happy if I did. Just being very gentle if I have to get those out of their bore, because the ATF that is still in there is acting as a kind of an adhesive of sorts to retain the rings in place. Man, that looks really good. I think this thing is just fine. I wonder if this should be the last one. That one's got a weird ring on it, probably just for the surface it runs on, it looks like. Oh, there's a seal there. That's funky. I wonder what that actually seals against. We'll probably figure that out, huh? Yeah, that's cool. Alright, so you know the order that those are going in. Let's see. It's a needle bearing. I hope it's caged. Yeah, that's caged. I was worried that this needle bearing didn't have a cage, which is very uncommon. I want to remember the orientation of it. Like that. So that in that way. I don't think it matters, but I've been surprised by these things before. I pull this out. Will it come out? Will it come out and play? Will it? Ah, look at that. That's neat. Whoa, big man. There is a little bit of axial to it. Probably fine. Will outlast this car or anything. Doesn't seem alarming. Cut seals. That's pretty cool. I had taken apart a center differential from a 2000 sticks out back before. That wasn't terribly daunting. I understand. How this one. It's a really thick odor. Yeah. I didn't have it. I think I could get that apart for me. That's fucking itself up. Where are my spring joints? Oh, jump, 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 jump. Ooh, ah. Oh. I want to mar these surfaces because I'm not quite sure what it will do if these surfaces are hard. And that's generally a good practice not to do that. Come on now. Play nice with me, bitch. Yeah, Julio, man, back to school. Come on, man. Well, it's inside of you anyway, right? Just gotta be with it. Yeah, this one fits a lot. Need. I think that's. What's wrong with that? Pick up. Oh, yeah. Right. Time to wipe that shit down. A little better. Cleaner, rag. Yeah. Fucking magnetic disc bullshit. Wash that out real quick. And put some ATF in there and reassemble. So I will soon post up another video about the other endeavor that I was having fun with last night. Whenever I decide to put it up, where I put together. All right, bought an engine from a friend of mine, swapped the intakes, and put it in my car so I have a commuter, so I can make my 3-hour one-way commute more better. Or see how that pans out in the long run, but I didn't skip any steps, and I had a good time with it. So whatever. All right, so what I'm going to use here, some old decks too, because why not? What I have still smells good, looks good, feels good. I'm going to use that to hit the friction plates in. I'm going to wipe these down. I'm not going to spray them to break them because I feel like that would contaminate what is left for the sanctity of this bitch. Because if I could just get away with putting on the tail housing here, I'll be a pretty happy guy. I think. Yeah, just the only place that sits, otherwise it's just a tube. Junk. Anyway. Cool. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Square good seals, my ass. But I don't have any, so that means I don't have to worry about it, right? I'll probably end up replacing them anyway because this is super easy to get in and out of there. There we go. Spins nicely in there. So. Actually, you know what? I don't have to put that back in there at the moment. Just thought about that. I suppose I could just. Oh, back together a little later on. Come on, babe. What are you doing? Okay. Yeah, I should probably mic these. I'm gonna look up in the FSM real quick. See what it says. What it will reveal. Where the fuck is my microphone? There we go. Friction plates. Really? Bitch. Okay. So with that. Yeah. That's all transmission stuff. Yeah. If there's anything I learned about Google Foo, it isn't much. For all the military schools and shit I've gone through, this is pretty much what I've had to become pretty good at in order to find the information that I actually want as opposed to what I don't want. Salute. I don't need that. Yeah, pressure tests and all that shit. I just want to know the thickness of these clutches. Transfer case. Transfer clutch extensions. Oh, separate publication, huh? Well, fuck me dead. Not in here. Lame. That's really uncool. Well, whatever. I'll find it, but there's no point in sitting around here. Wow, maybe I should learn how to spell and I can find the things I need. Get the fuck out of here, honey. Fucking with my shit. Well, that's where we are. But I'll show you where we're going to be another time. Hit end, motherfucker.